Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Sunshinery. Make sure you subscribe and like this video.
It's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where sun go down, others heal.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is Sunshinery Reactions. So, as you may know, there has been kind of a feud going on between Billie Lee versus Tom Sandoval, his girlfriend Victoria Robinson, and Kyle Chan. Now, a lot has gone on within the course of just a couple days. I am going to do a long form video of everything that's happened, but right now, we are covering the Up and Atom live that Victoria and Kyle Chan did just the other night. So right after Billie Lee put out her Billie and the Kid podcast, that's when everything seemed to go, well, awry. That's when Victoria and Kyle contacted Up and Atom. I don't know if they contacted him or vice versa, but that's when all of a sudden there was a live scheduled and they were going to say their side of the things. And they were going to talk about it because Tom Sandoval is away right now doing traders and he can't make any comments on anything that's happening because he doesn't know what's happening, apparently. If you have not seen my podcast review on Billie and the Kids podcast with Joe Wenberg, that is the episode I am talking about. I just put it out. If you haven't seen that first, I would suggest seeing that first before seeing this, just because you'll get a better understanding of everything that's going on. I also want to add that Victoria did respond on IG to Billie Lee's podcast and said, in response to the outrageous lies with the recent Billie and Joe podcast, absolute lies. Response with the truth coming soon. Then she also said, but first, let me make something very clear. I have never and would never touch belongings that aren't mine, nor have I suggested to do so. I have nothing but respect for Ariana, and it's not my place to get involved. Girls, shoot your shot at staying relevant with your lies and made-up stories, but the truth will come out soon enough. And I also want to note that Up and Atom did put up that they were going to be going live on his show, and Victoria also shared that to her stories as well. But let's not waste any time. Make sure to like this video, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and go back to hit your notifications to all so you can get notified every time I post a video or go live. All right, let's get into this.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so happy Friday. Welcome to a last minute live. Like, we did not anticipate this happening tonight, or else I would have given you guys a heads up. But now that I see we have almost 1,000 people in the room, so welcome everyone. Tonight, we are going to have a conversation with two people who are very close with Tom Sandoval. Obviously, his girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson, and then also one of his best friends, Kyle Chan, who you guys have seen multiple times on Vanderpump Rules. If you're a Vanderpump Rules fan, you know that Kyle Chan was a big part of being there for Tom. He's been around for a long time. So when I was working at TomTom, when I was, around at Sir, and my husband was working at Pump, Kyle has been in the mix and knows everyone, just to put a little bit of context to it. But before we bring both of them up, I want you guys to go ahead and smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and let's welcome Kyle and Victoria. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling good. Okay. Mixed emotions.
Happy Friday, I guess. Is that appropriate?
Is it Friday?
It's gonna be.
It's Friday, Kyle. It's Friday.
It's Friday.
Okay, so I want to start this off by saying to everyone, Victoria, Kylie had this conversation with you saying that before we come on here, I have to ask tough questions, right? Like I can't just give you a fluff cotton candy, kind of put it in your favor. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that.
I will also say there was a live chat that was also going on while this live was happening where people were asking questions. And I do hope that Adam does ask them the hard-hitting questions because that's what we want to know. We want to know the hard-hitting questions, what everyone is talking about, what Billy's talking about, what we want to know. So let's hope that Adam does a great job with this. I have faith in Adam. I adore him. I think he's quite interesting. I know some people love him, some people hate him. I like Adam. I think he has a good insight since he worked with some of these people and he's been around some of these people to understand what they're all about.
But also, before we get into the drama and the mess, because there's a lot of it, I want to give a little bit of context to the listeners, my subscribers, and the viewers who are going to see this as to who you guys are and what your relationship is with Tom. So I'm going to start with you first, Kyle. How long have you known Tom?
I think at the beginning of season 2, it'll be about 9 years or more.
Okay. And then, so that's a long time. And then for you, Victoria, how long have you guys been dating?
We've been dating at the beginning of February, I believe. Okay. I did not keep up with the date. I'm sure I can go back and look, but I didn't keep up with the exact date.
No, so a few months though. So you obviously know him well enough. You're dating him.
Yeah, we were friends like before, like months before, because we met through a mutual friend. So we were friends and we were hanging out for months before and there was nothing between us. We were just friends. And then one day, all of a sudden, we're like, oh, shit.
There's more.
I think I like you.
I'll give it to Kyle Chan. He's known Tom Sandoval longer than, well, Victoria, but he's known Tom Sandoval a very long time. So he has a lot of insight into this. Technically, I believe Victoria and Tom started dating around Valentine's Day. Why do I want to say like their first date was on Valentine's Day? And that was the whole like, here's the flowers, will you be my Valentine? And then she checked yes. I could be wrong, but I know that's the beginning of February, so that would work timeline-wise. But they were friends before that. But really, it's only been 4 months. She doesn't know Tom Sandoval like some of us know Tom Sandoval. Just saying. Especially if she doesn't watch Vanderpump Rules, which she claims she's never done. I don't believe that.
You know, that's kind of what I was going to lead into for my next question. For people who are listening, I did want to find out how both of you met Tom. And for you, Kyle, especially, you're not just friends with Tom, you're friends with, I'm pretty sure, the entire cast.
Yes, I'm friends with the cast. And I met them at Pump opening. Okay. So, yeah, that was when Shorts, Tom, everybody was there that day.
Okay. All right. And then as you obviously have been around it, Kyle, I know that you've seen a lot of like ups and downs with the cast. And of course, like you lived through Sandoval. You were one of Tom's biggest, I guess, I don't want to say supporters in the sense that you supported what happened through Sandoval, but you were definitely a shoulder to lean on where you were, I feel like you were very level-headed with saying what happened was wrong, but also I want to make sure that my friend is okay because am I hitting this right?
Yes, because what he did to Ariana, I think everybody knows is not defendable. And I was not okay with it. I was pretty honest with Ariana after they found out. So I did apologize to her, and I told her that I would really like to tell her, but I really don't think it is my place. If they were not on a reality TV show, I think most people will not do that. Like they will not out their friends. For some people, maybe they will. And I think that's also, there's no right or wrong. I think that could be a right choice also to out your friend. But everybody has a different personality. For my personality, I just don't think I'm that type that will go out you. But I did suggest Tom to come clean. And obviously there's more obstacle as he might have explained on the show. And I think the important part about me staying friends with all of them, because I was honest, And also they've known all these years, my personality is I've never take side, because I know if a couple have a fight or whoever's cheated, later on they might be okay. Obviously, for this particular situation, they're not going to be okay.
And Kyle Chan has been a great friend to all of the cast. Literally, he's made all of the engagement rings for all the couples that have gotten married. Like, that's a good friend to have, you know, a jewelry designer. But literally, we've seen him really have heart-to-hearts with a lot of the people on the cast. He is a great friend. He is honest. And you know what? I do agree with him. It wasn't his place to tell Ariana. And as long as he was really encouraging Tom, I can see why he didn't want to say anything. And he doesn't seem like the type that he wants to get involved in drama. But I do know there has been some drama with Kyle here and there just because of the things that he's maybe said. Nothing bad, just speaking the truth. And sometimes people just can't handle speaking the truth. So for this is just, I don't know. I have some mixed feelings about this whole issue with Billie Lee, Kyle Chan, and everyone. I'm trying to work it all out with you guys.
But with the only reason why I survive all these seasons, because I never want to pick sides. It's their deal. They need to sort it out. And if they need a shoulder to cry on or they need advice, I will give it to them. I'm like, pros and cons, you pick. Like I always tell people, like when you gamble, you need to be able to gamble your money to black or red on your own. If you pick it for me and I lose the money, you're not going to pay me back. So I'm not going to make decisions for people. But if they want advice, I will be there for them.
And then, no, that makes sense. And for you, Victoria, like I do have to ask too, since you said you had a friendship before you started dating, but now obviously after everything played out in the media, in the public, TMZ, the paparazzi harassing, you have all over the news, like obviously you know all of this, right? And so do the people who are listening.
I don't live under a rock.
Right, you don't live under a rock.
Yeah.
How has this been for you dating someone with so much attention from the public?
Well, what was hard is we have very strong feelings for each other. Like our connection is very strong. But when you're going through your honeymoon phase in a relationship, it's supposed to be strictly just like very like fun and happy. And I would wake up beside him and it would be like, oh my God, what's going on today? It'd be like something with the house or like something that, you know, I don't want to mention right now.
With the tiger?
It would be something every day. And I was just like, oh my God, what is it? It's not normal. It's not normal for, you know, that's just not normal. And or it would be Raquel, Rachel, whatever her name is this week, coming out with a podcast as well. So yeah, it was a lot.
I can't believe she mentioned Rachel, Raquel, whatever her name is this week. Like, that's kind of a little petty because you don't even know the situation. And yet you kind of know like the VPR fan kind of funny jokes that we have. But she definitely listens to Rachel's podcast too. I feel like she claims that she doesn't listen to any of us, but she does. And Rachel has a podcast. She's going to talk about it. We already knew this was going to happen. Like this whole season, like we've been dealing with this for over a year now. We knew that like it was happening throughout that, them filming, then the show airing, and now even afterwards. Someone asked me the other day, what are you going to do when all this VPR drama stops? And I'm like, believe me, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It just always will keep happening. Something will happen, and we're just going to have something to always talk about. And I enjoy that because I really do enjoy the show. I enjoy the people on the show. I enjoy really talking with you guys about everything. And it's just interesting to see everything play out, how it's been. And it's like I followed them their whole 10 years of life, 11 years of life, and they've kind of come with me on my journey, and I've learned lessons from them. It's a show that I enjoy, and I know you guys enjoy it, and I enjoy talking to you all. This is kind of my first impression of Victoria, too. So let's be nice. Let's be nice. But she did kind of know what she was getting herself into. I hope at least Tom divulged that information to her. Like, hey, if you're going to date me, you need to be aware, like, I'm on this reality TV show. I did something fucking horrible to my ex-girlfriend. People think I'm the worst guy ever because I am. I'm a narcissist. And you just need to know all of this up front before moving forward with me. I hope he told her. I doubt he did, though.
Okay, so is the risk worth the reward? Because obviously you've stuck around, so it has to be.
I'm still here. He is a very good person. Unfortunately, people behind like that don't know him personally don't realize that he is a very good, sweet, caring, nurturing human being. He made a fucked up decision. It's something that I do not agree with whatsoever. He knows that. Right. I would never do what he would have done, ever. You know, but I'm here because I do love him, and he's a good person. We both know this. You know?
I think it also makes it really clear that he has been punished pretty badly, through public and all. So then maybe that gives Victoria the little sense of security that I don't think anybody was be stupid enough to fuck that up again. Maybe.
Also, that's not gonna it's not gonna happen with me. Like, I'm not.
She's gonna draw him like it's not.
Of course it's not going to happen to you. You have him under lock and key. I mean, you read all of his texts. You know who's at his house when you're not there because you drive by. And then you run inside to make sure, like, he's not cheating on you. So, I mean, you're taking all the precautions that you need to make sure he isn't going to do this to you. So, I mean, good for you, girl. Good for you. I swear sometimes. That's what Billie said happened with just her in the Victoria situation, if you don't know. And Ariana is a very smart, intuitive woman. And if it can happen to her, it can happen to you, Victoria. Don't think that you're just immune to it. I hate to say it. You might just get Tom Sandoval. He's done this to, so far, 2 people that we've seen and watched the relationships on camera. Maybe, like, if you watched, you would know too. Oh, wait, you don't watch. That's right. Though I feel like you do watch. Okay, I'm getting spicy. Let's keep going.
Also
you can't get away with that with me, honey.
Kyle, for you, watching this play out, being around for 9 years, I have to ask, because you saw everything. You were there. You guys were making bracelets. You guys were doing all kinds of, I mean, it was like when we saw him, and we're going to get into it, we saw him with Billie Lee or Kyle Chan. If you guys don't know, Kyle Chan has a very successful jewelry store in Los Angeles. He is a jeweler to the stars, but that is who Kyle, or that's who Tom Sandoval was attached to at the time. And for you, Kyle, watching this play out so publicly, I do have to ask, did the time fit the crime? Like, the way that the public went after Tom, was there any point where you were like, enough, like, we're done, this is okay, we get it, we're done? Or were you just like, no, Tom, you fucked up, and this is what happens when you put yourself on reality TV, like, you shouldn't have done this? Like, where was your mind? That's
a good question. I actually warned him before that happened, so he's pretty aware that shit's gonna hit the fan, and the punishment is not gonna be light. The public's gonna hate you. So that was something that I know that it's going to happen, and I think he's aware. But knowing what's going to happen versus when it really hitting you, it's totally different story. Right. So then many times I do feel that it was quite suffocating. To me, I think the punishment kind of fit the crime, that he deserves all of this hate. But when there was the add-on that people add on, such as when he didn't do anything, but then people will go, oh, he must did this. Or if a paparazzi got a picture of him doing whatsoever, they will add on more stuff. That is the thing that I do not agree with, because you can justify, you can continue punishing him. If you want to hate him, by all means, he deserves it, and he needs to learn. And once the audience let it all out and punish him enough, or see him grow and change, they might calm down a little bit. It takes time. For what he did, it was quite controversial, and it's a hard one for people to swallow. And also, I think people could relate to it because they went through their own heartbreak, and then when somebody did that, they feel like it's more justifiable and it makes them feel good to punish him, almost like punishing their ex. So if that makes people happy, by all means, like
it also makes sense to what you're saying too, because you're saying essentially a lot of people can relate to the concept of an affair or cheating, and it's sort of triggering for some of those audience members, which makes them lash out a little bit more.
Yeah,
and
they conveniently take it out on him and makes them feel good. Then I think it's a good thing that he picked one for the team. And
okay,
it's not easy, but
listen, I completely agree with Kyle Chan that he deserved everything that he got. And yes, people did relate to what was happening, and they wanted to encourage Ariana to just do her best and keep moving forward and forget this loser. He fucked up. And the whole thing too was he was not taking accountability. He wasn't even saying he was sorry to her. No matter how many times people tried, he never actually apologized to her for what he did. And it just shows that he's just this man that will never fucking get what he did wrong. And I do also agree that, like, there goes to a point where, like, you shouldn't push. Like, don't be going on to his restaurant's Google review and leaving nasty reviews because you don't like him. It's not the restaurant's fault. Like, things like that. I also get what he meant by, like, the tabloids making up things. But that's what they do, unfortunately, and they've been doing that for a long time. It's whether you believe it or not. I've been seeing a lot of different different articles happening, and I can tell which ones have not a fucking clue what they're talking about and which ones do. And even the ones that do still speculate on things because that's what they do. And of course, there's going to be consequences for your actions, especially when you are hiding a 7-month-long affair behind your girlfriend's back and behind all the TV producers and everything on the show that you are involved on. I mean, he did deserve some vitriol. He did. I still think it's like handle with caution type gloves with him. I will always feel that way with him. And for Victoria, I wish her all the best, but I hate to say it, like, no woman has changed him yet. And even when we had hope that, like, things would be different with Ariana, look what happened. And I know she, like, is new to this. Not really, though. She supposedly dated Leonardo DiCaprio. She knows how the tabloids work. It's gonna happen. Rumors in the tabloid are gonna happen. You need to trust your boyfriend. And from everything that I've heard so far, you don't trust him. And I don't blame you for not trusting him. Don't get me wrong. I don't blame you. But you're going into a relationship with him where I'm not. And you need to give him trust just as much as he needs to give you trust. And if he's giving you trust, then you can't assume that he's just going to do the same old shit. Unfortunately, that's your choice, though. You knew what you were getting yourself into with this person and what he did. So you have to do what you need to do if you want this to work out.
Okay, so then from here, I want to ask too, before again we get into a little bit more of the mess, for you two, obviously with you, Kyle, being around Sandoval for a longer period of time, when he came to you and said, hey man, you're my best friend and I am now dating this amazing girl, I think she's incredible, her name's Victoria, introduces you, where did your mind go? Were you like, oh God, like Tom, it's too soon? Or like, no, we're open to it. I think that this is good for you. I can't wait to meet her. Like, what went through your head?
A little bit of everything that you just mentioned. So, but for me, I'm genuinely like, I'm pretty nice to everyone. But to get me understand a person and love a person like the way I treat my close friend, it takes a little time. I take time to warm up to people. But I think the quality I like about Victoria is she's very like real. She's very genuine, and so then I don't really feel that her like the grace period and the friendship warming up period. It's a little bit like quicker compared to other people, and yeah, and he went through his time dating a few girls here and there, and all of a sudden he drawn to Victoria quite a bit. So I respect that.
Okay.
especially dating Tom Sandoval during this time, it's not an easy task. So I have a lot of respect for her.
It's not an easy task dating Tom Sandoval, especially with everything going on with the TV show, the media, just everything that he's done. It definitely is no easy task dating him. Maybe that's why she's kind of insecure, and I don't blame her. But then that's not a relationship that you really want to be in. Those are red flags, honey. And personally, I think Tom needed to do a lot more therapy, a lot more reflecting, and just really staying sober and clearing his mind and really figuring out his deep-rooted issues. Because I believe there are real deep-rooted issues that he needs to overcome. And I'm not saying you can't do that in a relationship. I'm just saying for him, he's always been in a relationship. He went from one to the other after everything that he did. And he should be taking this time to reflect and find himself. Because I don't believe he even knows who he really is deep down inside. Or, Tom, you could pay a service fee and ask Rachel for some relationship advice. I hear she's giving it out nowadays.
Okay, and then obviously for you, Victoria, I want to address the elephant in the room because, man, you got thrust into this really quick. And I think what happens is you get to know people, it becomes more public, and you were around one of Tom Sandoval's biggest supporters, at least at the time. Obviously, not anymore, I guess, based off of the clips that I'm about to play. Before I get into the clips and the conversation of Billie Lee, I do want to find out from you, Victoria, how did you meet Billie? When you met Billie, was it something like where it was comfortable? You're like, oh my God, I love her. Or were you automatically on guard? Where was your mind?
When I met Billie, I have a thing where I'm trying to not do this anymore. I trust people too easily and let them in. I'm very welcoming and too trusting too soon. But with Billie in the beginning, I loved her. I thought she was great. I thought she was like so sweet. She was very like welcoming to me. We hung out for the first time at one of his shows, and we had so much fun. And we were like bonding, I thought. And yeah, I don't know. I got to know her for a bit. Her car got broken into and I felt bad for her. Tom got her a laptop because her laptop was stolen, bought her a new laptop, and I got her flowers because I was like, shit, like if my car got broken into, like obviously you're having a bad day. So I sent flowers over. And then from there on out, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Just there's so much to go into this.
Yeah, no. There's totally a lot to go into, and we're going to discuss it all. But
which, if you did see my Billie Lee and the Kid podcast review, I did show the clip of the very first episode when Sandoval was on, and she mentions how Victoria bought her flowers because her car got broken into and all of that. The only thing that wasn't mentioned that Victoria mentioned here was that Sandoval bought her a new laptop. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that's something she's like adding a cherry on top of a cake kind of a thing. Maybe to make it look like, oh, poor Tom, look at what he did for her. For all we know, that could be a lie. That was never mentioned. But I just wanted to point that out because I do know she thanked Victoria then. So if Tom Sandoval did buy her a new laptop, why wouldn't she thank her friend who was on the podcast that day? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Before Billie ever went public with the things that she said about you on her podcast and the things that she said about you on Instagram lives and stories. And again, we're going to get through the clips and I want to read through or play each one and I want to dissect them and kind of pull from both of you. Either one of you, did you ever have an element of doubt when it came to Billie's relationship with Tom? Did you ever think that it was like potentially an opportunistic relationship, or did you think that, like she was genuinely there for the right reasons? Where were your heads at?
I did think she was there for the right reasons. But there was a point where, she brought up the whole, I thought they were sleeping together. And that was actually a misunderstanding on Tom's part because Tom said something, we were talking on the phone and he said something like, yeah, sometimes she'll like stay over and, you know, sleep in the bed. And I'm like, so like you guys like sleep together or do you like, you know, is it just, and he goes, no. Like, and then I think he got a call during that time, hung up the phone. And then like it from like Jason or somebody, his manager, he was, and then anyways, so we had to talk later on. And then he was like, no, she just like has stayed over like 2 or 3 times whenever I'm out of town and slept in the bed. And I'm like, okay, just to clarify, you know, that's it. And I never like stormed in the house and was like, oh my God, are you guys having sex? That was never a thing. That was made.
Oh, we're going to get into that again in the clip. We're going to get into that. Guys, over 2,000 people in the room. Smash the like button, show some love. Before I play the clip, my last question is for Kyle. Kyle, were there ever any red flags for you when it came to Billie, or is this now like Billie being very vocal publicly? Is this more shocking to you? You didn't see it coming.
You know what? For Billie, I always think that her with Sandoval, she has always been very loyal. She's always been that friend that it's like, I got your back or whatever. But then I feel like there's somewhere somewhere during this process, the love that she has for Tom has shifted a little bit differently. So then it became a very selfish, like, you know, process. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of protecting him because we're really good friends, but then I also then it turns into something like I'm protecting him, he's mine.
Right.
I feel like it shifted a little bit.
It became a possessive relationship.
Yes, I think that's how all of these things come along. So I know that there's a lot of drama here, and I also don't like to make it like a boxing match. I know it is very entertaining for everybody on here, but also this is real life, and we don't really want it to out all of these dirty laundry that her personal feelings towards Tom or whatsoever.
It's just not fun.
But then we don't have a choice. So I just wanted to make this clear because I respect her. I think she's a very pretty girl, but then also sometimes there are reasons why the cast and everybody else don't really like to associate with her because she gets triggers pretty easily. She has a lot of triggers, and also the fact that because she's trans, and I know that there's a lot of people attack her for no reason just because she's trans. So I have a lot of sympathy on that because my PRs are two trans women, and then I have a lot of trans friends. But then also my trans friends would say that this is not how you conduct yourself, because when you use the trans card a lot, when people don't like you and then you use that trans card, that create a lot of tensions and make the situation more complicated because the LGBTQ community don't want to be represented that way, because you should not use that as your ammunition.
Right.
I think Billie's been there a lot for Tom, especially with everything that happened with Sandoval. She stuck by his side and was there for him when he needed a friend the most. And I do believe there is some type of trauma bonding that is happening. I don't necessarily think that she felt like, well, he's mine and I don't want anyone to have him. Maybe she felt something about Victoria that just didn't sit right with her, and she was worried for her friend that was now getting in this relationship that this might not be right for him. And I don't know if I really believe Victoria when she says that she didn't run in the house and be like, oh my God, are you guys fucking? I don't think she necessarily did exactly that. But I think she might have ran in the house thinking like she was going to catch them and then didn't. Didn't say anything about it, but I do believe that might have happened. It's the little bit of exaggeration from each side that I know that each of them are doing. And if I was Victoria, like I said, you have to know going into this relationship with Sandoval what he's done, and that he does need to build trust to have trust, just like you need to build trust with him for him to have trust with you. And maybe she felt something that she couldn't trust him about because of his past events. And maybe this is something that she's worried about. I don't know. I just don't feel like that situation wasn't exactly something that didn't happen. I do believe it happened. I just don't believe a lot of the stuff that was said while it was happening, kind of a thing. I think it was, this is what one person perceived, and this is maybe what Victoria perceived, but ultimately it was her being fearful, running in the house, thinking, oh my God, what the hell is happening, and then found nothing. And I don't know, that whole sleeping in the bed thing just seems weird. And I hate to say that was a red flag too with Rachel, where, oh, well, she was just too drunk, so we let her stay over. She stayed in the guest room. The guest room! We heard this before. It sounds so familiar.
To fight an argument. So I just wanted to throw out there, and I hope people listen to this and understand why that this is happening instead of going to bash her, because I have respect for her. I feel that she is in pain, and Tom is his only life. It's her only lifeline. So yeah, I just wanted people to understand.
Okay, I'm gonna roll the tape. Before I do want to say too, to piggyback off of what you said, I think that sometimes it's extremely dangerous, and I think it can be very arrogant to weaponize, like, in conversations. I know that we all have our own things that we battle through, whether it's like if you're a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, if you're a gay man, if you're a lesbian, if you're a trans man or woman, whatever you're going through. I think that, yes, there are bullies out there, and there are people that weaponize that and they attack you for no reason, because there are evil people out there. But I think that it's important to know that there are those evil people, but you cannot always, if someone does not agree with you in a conversation or like what you're saying, you cannot always just call them phobic of some kind. It's incredibly arrogant and it's incredibly dangerous.
I do have to agree with Adam on this. It's a big thing that I do see here on social media, where people weaponize their ethnicity, their gender, or what they are, or their religion, just because they don't like an opinion that someone gave them, and then they turn it around like that person is a racist, or, you know, they don't like trans people because they have this opinion, whether it be about the situation or not. I personally have dealt with something like this. My first even couple months on YouTube, I had to deal with it. I had a man that stalked me for over a year and a half. And it was one of the first 2 months I was even here on YouTube. One of a good friend of ours had passed away, and I had seen him say some vile, nasty things about her, and she wasn't even buried yet in the ground. So I spoke up because I did not like what he was saying about her. He had no clue even who she was. And that turned into him telling me that I was too ugly to be SA'd, because we had tried to have a conversation with him that not all SA victims are asking to be SA'd. It was a whole big mess. I did one video on him where he did over 50 plus on me and tried to destroy my life and everything about what I was trying to do here on this platform. At that time, I had not been doing YouTube drama, as people like to call it. I was doing celebrity news, influencer news, what was going on with the bigger YouTube channels, and it didn't matter. He would follow me to my friends' panels that I would go on. He would click the link so he would be able to talk to me in the private chat where no one else could see it because I had him blocked. And he would say the most vile, nasty, disgusting things to me. If I told you guys what he said, you would not believe that there are people like this, but there are. So after a year and a half of having enough of this, and then feeling scared for my life, because he was telling me things like he was going to have people from my area come find me and beat the crap out of me, and he was going to, it was just so bad. I decided to get an RO. I went through a whole process. And you know what that turned into to the people that didn't like me on YouTube? They didn't care that this man was harassing me, was saying the things he was saying about me, my family, my dead relatives. It was, I was racist and trying to put a black man in jail because I wanted an RO on him just to be left alone. Just for him to stop following me. Come to find out, I did find out that one person that I trusted was also giving him the link to these panels that I would join her on as a friend, just so she can have drama and content on her channel. And that really traumatized me. It really impacted me. It's actually what made me take 6 months off of YouTube to come back and do what I wanted to do. There are some cruel people in this world, and I just wanted to point that out, that we need to be better. Just because we don't like what someone has to say, we do not need to make it about something that it's not. If it is about that, then fight for your rights completely. I will be there right alongside fighting with you. But if it's literally a difference of opinion about whether the sky is blue or not, there's no need to make it about gender or race or religion. Has nothing to do with that. I hope you enjoyed that little story time rant, but let's get back to the podcast. And a quick little side note. I've actually never really talked about this on my channel, what this man has done to me. I will say the RO he never showed up for. They ended up granting it for me. It's been now over a year, so the RO is no longer in existence. He does now have a YouTube channel, though he's been banned from YouTube. He keeps creating new channels. And so far, I have stayed out of his radar, I guess you can say. But he's still doing the same exact thing to many other women on this platform, and men as well. And this is the stuff that I don't like about YouTube, that I wish that YouTube would be able to see and fix.
Yeah. And it is. But I'm going to roll the tape. I'm going to play the clip, and I want to see what you guys say, because this is where we're starting. Thank you to Bravo Snark Side. Here we go.
Accusing Tom and I of sleeping together, and that really hurt my feelings. And then I was like, wait, I don't feel comfortable being alone with him. And then the second time we were alone together, Tom and I went and got our nails done, which we normally do. Yep. She was calling and calling and calling. We get in the car, and as soon as she answers, she starts yelling at him, and he's like, "You're on speaker. Billie's in the car." And she's like, "Of course you're with her." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, again. And then the third time, they were fighting, and Tom asked me to come over, and it was late, and I was like, "Okay, I'll come over."
For you to mediate?
No, she wasn't there, and he needed me, so I went in there.
Constant, like
the fighting is constant. I'm telling you, it's the most toxic relationship I've ever seen in my life. You know, I literally would cry. Like, I know. So I went there to like be there with him because he was like fighting with her and he was really upset. I was just chilling on the couch. All of a sudden, she busted in the house. She was literally parked and watched me come in.
Oh my God.
And started screaming and yelling at him and I like we were doing something wrong when I was really just sitting there. So I got so uncomfortable, I immediately walked out. But her car was parked behind me and the door was open and the car was on. Like she literally jumped out of that car and ran inside like she was going to catch us doing something. And I was so uncomfortable. I asked her, please move your car. She moved her car. I left. Tom calls me. He's apologizing to me and he's like, Billie, please come back. Please come back. And I was like, I feel really uncomfortable. I don't think I should. He was like begging me to come back.
Remember
and
this,
I felt so bad for him. So I turned around,
of course,
went back. Yeah. She came in again. Like, I'm not joking you. Like, it was like she was calling and being like, it was just so awkward. And like, that was the situation is like, I felt like I could no longer be friends with both of them because it was so toxic. I was feeling so much anxiety. And then I also was just feeling uncomfortable being in a house that I was very comfortable.
Yeah.
And here's what really fucking got me.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
No, this is what really got me. I have been always I've been so courteous of Ariana's belongings because Ariana's the ex-girlfriend. She's in the house. Well, all her stuff's in the house. It's still her house.
Yes.
I have.
Also, you didn't live there. You're hanging out.
I didn't live there. But I always made sure her plans were taken care of and made sure like all her stuff was taken care of.
And you were like, Ariana, like in case you need me to like and she'd be like, yes, great.
Yes.
You're also not stupid enough to fuck Tom Sandoval, just in general.
Yes. Thank you. No. So Victoria demands that Tom move out of the guest bedroom into the master bedroom and get rid of Ariana's stuff. And I'm like, you shouldn't touch Ariana's stuff. Like she's in New York. Maybe you should come here. Maybe she should come here and get her stuff. apparently he called Logan and was like, can you come and put her stuff? Like, you know how
I
her
did not
room
know
was
this.
packed with stuff. Like
Oh, yeah,
all the
she's
boxes
like,
I would put up there.
Yeah.
Like her room was literally packed to the rim of boxes and all her belongings. Every time I went there, I would feel sad because it was as if someone died, because literally it was like the bed wasn't made. It was like someone lived there, but then they just ghosted. It was so weird.
Yeah.
But
also Tom's room too was like very packed up, and like it was like you were there for helping Tom, like at the time, like clean it, like help him, like do his, you know what I'm,
So I felt very uncomfortable that Victoria was really
you were
like,
good friend. You were good with Tom and Eric. Like it was like, okay.
No, they were my family. Like,
yes,
they were literally my family. And it sucks that I
yes.
lost friends and her through this whole experience.
Yes.
But the thing is like, when she just really wanted to let people know that she was in this relationship and that she was in this house, she moved my plants. First, she moved my plants that I had there, just like plants.
Ariana would never have done that. Tom would never have done that.
She moved my plants up into Ariana's bathroom. I was like,
you and
what?
Don't take it out on the plant.
And
What did the plants do?
And then she wants all of Ariana's stuff out. And so they moved her stuff. And I was so upset and bothered by that. And this is the thing, is when you say I was creating a boundary, it was like one after another after another. I wouldn't answer her phone calls because she would bring me into these fights. She would talk this crazy shit. It'd be 2:00 in the afternoon. This girl would be calling me, slurring her words, talking about how much she hates Tom Sandoval. What? But then you guys are together? Like, it blew my mind. And I am so worried about Tom.
Same.
So what really did it was a few of his friends and people that work with him said, hey, Tom's not showing up to meetings. We're really worried about him.
They called you probably.
He's saying he's sick every single day. Yeah. He wouldn't show up for things for me. And
I
was like, oh my God. I'm like, it's not just me. It's affecting everything.
Yeah. And they probably tried to talk to you because there was no other person probably to
I stopped here for commentary purposes and YouTube, TOS, all that great stuff. But what I noticed too, because I have the same clip, I actually had it on my quick recaps from Bravo Snarkside, which go check them out on IG. But from what I don't get is we started with 0.23 and the final straw, but there was another thing that she had said previous to like starting the conversation that Adam didn't play. So he wasn't showing the full context of exactly what was said. And then he cut it off there, which was weird. I don't know if he finishes it or not, because that's when they talk about how they set up an intervention and she wasn't invited and da-da-da-da-da. If you seen my last video, you would know all about it. Even the quick recaps had it in there. So I don't know why Adam only showed certain things, but let's find out what their response is.
Can I say? Wait, is the mic on?
Yeah.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes, please.
If you would pay attention on her video, I see that passion, I see that energy, and I see that she's very entertaining. So her take on telling the story is to make it juicy and fun and entertaining for the audience. Right. And I think I would like to see more of that at her comedy shows instead of when she's addressing something that serious in public.
Right. Okay. All right. Wait, I have a few things I want to get into here. Victoria, did you actually try to move things out of the room? And were you trying to move Tom Sandoval into the primary bedroom?
Absolutely not. No, that is not my place. I respect their relationship that they had. I respect Ariana. I would never want anyone touching my belongings if I were in that position or any position. I have never suggested. I didn't even really know who Logan was. So that where she said I had Tom call Logan or whatever, she actually came to. So where
we haven't seen her forever already.
No, she came. So what happened was she came to Tom's house while Tom was on tour. And I went to meet Tom on tour and to pick up some of her belongings. Her plants were moved upstairs by Tom or Josh. I believe it was by Tom. I believe it was Tom. And I have not touched any of Ariana's things. I would not do that. So let's just make that very clear. That is a bold statement, a lie. Also, that is a conversation that her and I never even had. She's over there going like, oh, how dare you, or whatever she said. That is literally...
You guys weren't talking already.
I haven't spoken to her since March 25th.
And Billie didn't say she physically moved Ariana's stuff or touched Ariana's stuff. What she said was she suggested that Tom move Ariana's stuff out of the master bedroom so that they could have it. And then he called Logan, because clearly he knows Logan is her friend, to see about getting Ariana's stuff out of the house. I think it's a little bit of misinterpretation and not really listening clearly. I will say, Billie did clear that up in one of her TikTok, Instagram things that she did, where she said, I never said that Victoria touched her stuff. She suggested moving her stuff out of the room so they could have it, which I can totally see that. And saying that, well, I haven't talked to her since March 25th. Okay, show the receipts. What's the last thing that you two talked about? And there's clearly a reason why she hasn't talked to you since March 25th. That's probably when she was starting to put up some boundaries because of the things that were happening and going on, and she didn't feel comfortable with everything happening. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
Wait, so I have to ask you before I get back into the Billie stuff. Have you actually met Ariana or no?
No, I've walked past her in passing. At where were we? The premiere? Was it the premiere?
At the premiere. Yeah.
At the premiere. We just walked past each other, but I've never met her. No hard feelings against Ariana at all. I don't know her, and I have nothing but respect for her and their relationship. They have a past, and I would never. Also, why would I want to sleep in their bedroom? Isn't that a little weird? Like,
okay, well, I thought it was
come over
weird,
to my house.
Listen, some people have weird things, and I don't know. I thought it would have been weird. I wouldn't personally want to sleep in my new relationship, like the bedroom that they once shared. But you never know. But I did want to ask you that, and then I also wanted to kind of go from there. So you did not touch her stuff, is what you're saying?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and
you didn't suggest
I did not suggest it at all.
Okay. And then Logan Cochran is one of my good friends. And you're saying that maybe you've met him, maybe you know him, but you don't really know him.
I don't think you've met her.
I don't think Logan is Ariana's best friend, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. I don't think I have met him. And if I have, I don't remember because I've met so many people throughout meeting Tom. But no,
yeah, I've never out with Tom. You have 500 people.
Yeah, I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, I've had one person be like, you don't remember my name, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I've met so many people.
Honestly, I think it'd be more weird that you're sleeping in the guest bedroom where Tom was hooking up with Rachel and God knows who else. I mean, that's kind of weird too. I mean, regardless, it's going to happen, especially if you're staying over his house. I still don't think that's the issue. And if you did have a house, why didn't you guys stay at your house? You supposedly have these houses. Why weren't you staying at your house more times than, nah. I get, like, he has a home, too, but, like, he could sleep over there, like you said. And I have a feeling that she knows who Logan is. She's just playing like, I don't know. I just met so many people through Tom. I just don't know. I don't know. Which, you know what? I get that. You probably have met a lot of people. It's not really been that long of a time. But I'm pretty sure you would remember, like, his ex-girlfriend's best friend kind of person.
Okay. So my next question is, before I cut off the clip, because the clip was long, so I was like, I can't do this. But yeah. Billie said that there came a point where after Tom started getting through the public scrutiny of what was dubbed Sandoval, that Tom, it took a minute. And Kyle, you were a part of that journey where it was a healing journey. It was getting better. He became sober, all of these things. And what Billie is essentially saying is now that you came into the picture, Victoria, the house is a mess. He started drinking again. And she actually used the word drugs, saying that there's drugs all over the house. So she wanted to stage an intervention, and she included you, Kyle, saying that she wanted to stage an intervention at your shop. Now, I want to find out the truth to that because I don't know. And that's what we're hearing from Billie, which could totally be true. And you might tell me that, yeah, that was true. I want to find out.
So the craziest thing is when he wanted to go sober, the main reason was because at the beginning, he wanted to do it with Raquel.
Okay.
So then she's not alone.
Okay.
And then it turns into, I'm feeling really good. And I don't want to go through this darkness when I'm drinking because he never had a drinking problem to begin with. The way when we go out to drink, because we like whiskey. We enjoy a drink. We don't chuck drinks. We don't do shots. Like if we do shots, every bar would know that we do baby, like a mini shots. Even the fans would know. We always do like baby shots. So we cruise through the night with alcohol, not like drinking, getting hungover or anything like that. He never have a drinking problem. He just didn't want to drink during his darkest time because that won't be a good mix. So that was that. And then when we decided to go on a trip, me and Shorts is like, oh, are you going to drink when we're going to Asia now that you're not feeling as bad? He's like, maybe. So it was more like he wanted to drink. Like he feel like he's mentally okay now. He can handle, like there are good times and bad times, good days and bad days. He feel like he's strong enough now to handle, and he wanted to have a little alcohol. It's fun. And it's no secret that he would do little mushroom or whatever, but not like doing it
on the show. We did see this on the show.
Yeah, he would do it maybe when we go to a music festival, go to a concert. He wouldn't lie about it. So to weaponize it, to accuse them doing drug sling all over at home, that it's literally, I think it's not normal.
Listen, everyone is different. The drinking thing is his own journey. If he wants to drink, he can drink. Do I think that he felt better? He looked better? He needed that time to process everything he was going through because that was the whole reason he got into the affair and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I think him not drinking was a great thing. And yes, we do know that he has done other illicit substances. Those are still illegal. I've done shrooms once in my life, and listen, they're psychedelics, and you can have a bad trip, you can have a good trip. It's not something, though, that you do all the time. And I get, like, wanting to have fun, but, like, you get to a point where, like, is it even worth it? You're harming your body. Weed, I can see smoking weed. I am a pothead. That helps me with a lot of things, though. I just think that for him, he needed that time to reevaluate everything that was happening in his life. And I don't necessarily believe that it was the right time for him to go back to alcohol. And that's his choice. That's my opinion. I don't know if it is other drugs now involved with Victoria. I've heard things, I've read things, and I can only say that's their issue, and if it is an issue, then they need to get help, and they need to be able to understand that maybe something that they think is helping them is really hurting them if they're abusing it.
I can't say that about people. Because I wouldn't do drugs at home.
And for the house being messy and everything, he was newly single. He had parties. He had not like massive parties, but get-togethers and stuff. So
most of the get-together party, if I was there and the normal group of people are there, we always try to clean up, like at least all of the bottles, dump the trash out. We always try to minimize. Maybe somebody will do the dishes. Sometimes I'll do the dishes.
There's been a couple nights where him and I have been together, and it's like we just want to go to bed. We'll figure it out in the morning.
Yeah,
like not a big deal.
So wait a minute, Kyle, I want to touch on this again just to briefly hit this. Were you aware of an intervention?
I was not aware of the intervention. The craziest thing is out of the blue. Let me explain my relationship with Billie, so people will have a better picture why I did what I did. So Billie and I never really talked because I recall the first time I met her. It was Ariana's birthday, the Kings and Queens. She showed up looking stunning. She's like, hi, my name is Billie. I'm going to be on the show. And I said, oh, you're really beautiful. And she's like, do you support trans? And I'm like, of course I do. And then she said, put some jewelry on me then. I said, okay. So there is misconception of people always think that I'm the jeweler guy that will go around town and give jewelry as long as you're the cast. But if you're not the cast, I won't welcome you. No. The cast has been always very respectful. Every one of them always insists to pay and support my business. Because when they met me, I was still I was still doing some street fair, and I was still doing some like Unique LA, like smaller scale of events. So they will always support me. They know I work hard. They'll always support me. And on special occasion, I will give them jewelry. Anybody who invests their friendship with me, you probably know Christian, and when they work as a waiter or a busboy, if you're nice to me, you invest friendship with me on special occasion. Sometimes I just grab a piece of jewelry, but I would prefer to go have dinner with my friend, spend quality time with my friends. Those are the gifts that I prefer to give to my friend.
Listen, I get that English is Kyle's second language, and I do know there's sometimes a language barrier, but I'm not quite understanding the whole, like, necklace thing. Like, he was talking about the first time he met Billie, and did he, like, kind of mean like she expected jewelry for being his friend? Is that what he's trying to say? I'm not really understanding, because like talked about a party, meeting her, having this necklace on, and then like, you know, how the cast has always supported him, and they've always bought stuff from him to support his business, but he does, you know, give gifts sometimes, and I just don't get it. Maybe it's just me. If you understand, let me know down below, please.
Right. Not last minute grabbing a piece of jewelry. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, well, I do want to add to or ask, do you ever feel like maybe, because again, with me being around, you know, Vanderpump Rules and like working for Lisa, I met Billie multiple times, and you know, there wasn't never any really like crazy interaction, but she did a live today, and she said, you know, because I did say when I would have conversations or when I would pass Billie, I didn't necessarily think that she was the nicest to people, but then she explained on an Instagram live today or a video that she was in a very dark place at the time. And I understand, I think that we all go through that, and yes, I can empathize with that. But do you think that there is some level of hurt there for her? Because there have been rumors that Billie and Tom Sandoval have hooked up in the past. Do you think that there's some sort of attachment? And maybe Victoria, maybe that question's for you, because I am curious. Fans want to know that.
I do not think they've ever hooked up, because I would know. He would tell me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Victoria,
it's always been, like I said, it's always been a very good friendship with them, because I feel like Tom likes to protect and take care of the people who's been outcast or not welcome, and Billie did express that she's not welcome in the cast. And I actually did have a discussion with Tom about that. I said, you don't understand, because it's harder for her because she has social anxiety, so she doesn't really interact with people, and then also she has a lot of triggers. So then it makes it really hard for people to want to talk to her, because they worry that if they say something wrong, as just like me, English is actually my second language, and I sometimes will get the pronouns wrong, but it doesn't mean that so then people would know that there's so many triggers, etc. And then if they ever get in an argument, or if they ever don't like her, many people had expressed that they had the experience with her that she'll use the trans card. So then I feel like it makes it so much harder for her.
But what does that mean when you're saying that? What does that mean?
So people would, like, if they get an argument with her, she'll like, just like production, she will be like, oh, they're transphobic. So then I feel like because she used that very often, it's just created that energy that everybody is scared of her, or they need to tiptoe around her. If I piss her off, she might say that about me, because it is very damaging for anybody's career or business. So I think that's the reason.
I did see this IG live that she did, and I do have it. It will be in the long form video of everything that's going on. And she did say, like, she might have been mean to Adam back then. She barely remembers that time. It was a dark place in her life. She was going through a lot of changes with her body, and a lot of hate, and a lot of depression, and the social anxiety. And I can fully relate to that. I don't, like, I know that it's been brought up on the show, the trans issue and things like that, but I don't remember a time that she used it just because she didn't like what somebody said. Whether, like, that had nothing to do with, like, the issue kind of a thing. if it had to deal with the issue, yeah, then she was going to defend herself. But if it was just like, I don't like the dress that you're wearing, it's like, well, then you're transphobic. No, that never happened. I know you guys probably have better memories than I do. Sometimes I have to rewatch things to understand, and that's just part of my epilepsy and my memory loss because of it. Let me know if I am missing something about that. I do know, though, like, she's a big advocate for, trans rights and being a transitioned woman and the pronouns and things like that. And I think that's an amazing thing. And she has a new book that you can pre-order, and I so cannot wait to get that in September. That's going to be another thing that we're going to read on Members Only. So definitely can't wait to do that with the members. So I am so excited for that. I'm excited for her whole book. That was just something I randomly thought of and had to tell you guys.
So wait, and then going back over to you, thank you, Kyle. I want to ask you, Victoria, did you ever in your mind personally believe that there could have been a different level of the friendship where it could have been physical or intimate? And did you ever ask those questions?
No, I didn't think that. I really didn't think that. The only, like I said from before, is I asked, like, how often she sleeps over, but I don't think that they hooked up.
Okay.
I don't think Tom wants to hook up with her.
Okay. So obviously, like, I'm going to take this over to another clip, because when this podcast came out, Victoria, you went on social media and you posted a message. You didn't record yourself. You posted a message, and Billie Lee responded with this. So I want to play the clip really quick. That way we can kind of get into that. Hold on. Here it is.
Relevant. For one, she's using text on a story because we don't want to see video of her literally slurring her words. That's what it's like when you have a conversation with that girl. And staying relevant. Like, girl, you're so desperate. You're dating Tom Sandoval. Like, what? Like,
can we pause that?
Tom wanted me to help get her an assistant.
Let's just pause that really quick. So slurring my words. I'm just going to go ahead and say I was in a really bad car accident. I do sometimes slur my words. I have like a speech impediment, I guess you would say, especially whenever I get very nervous or anxious or anything. I do slip on my words. I don't do drugs. It has nothing to do with anything like that. So that's actually very triggering and upsetting to me to hear. Yeah.
And
Okay.
She's been providing a safe space for Joe, and she says she's a girls, but then she used the same tactic to attack Victoria.
Wait, hold on. We're going to get into that in a second, but I want to finish after the slurring. I just want to finish this clip, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Okay.
I hired him too. And I'm like, what does she do? She sleeps all day and parties all night. Like, the girl hasn't worked in years. And even, like, I think she got, like, one small little dig, and it's like, oh my God, Victoria's finally working. Like, the girl barely works. She cannot hold a job. She can barely hold a conversation. So what does she mean by relevant? Sweetie, I'm on tour. Still in traffic. Oh, yeah. He told me, he's like, I want to get her an assistant because I feel like it'd encourage her to, like, get up, get out of bed, and basically do something with her life. Like, he wanted to get her an assistant, not because she's busy, but, like, to help keep her on track and to pull her out of bed and basically make her be productive. That's what the assistant was for. Yeah, clearly that didn't work out. Girl, I can go on and on and on. She best shut her mouth because I have to say if you really want to go there. Ooh. Let's go, girl. Let's go. Also, she is right about this. She didn't touch Ariana stuff. She had Tom and Josh hire someone, movers, to come move all of Ariana's stuff. So she's right. She didn't physically do anything, for sure. But it was her decision. And to be fair, like, yeah, if there's like a big fucking painting of my man and his ex-girlfriend in the house, cover that up, take it down. I 100% agree with that. But girl, don't be going and moving all of someone's stuff when they own half of the fucking house. Like, let them come and do it themselves. Like, let their people handle it. Like, how dare you? relevant.
I mean, if you haven't seen my quick recaps, then you wouldn't have seen that. But I think Billie makes some solid points. Was she being a little petty? She was. But so was Victoria with the way she was saying what she said in her stories. And I was a little upset. Up and Adam, why didn't you put what Victoria said first to Billie for Billie to respond that way? I think that would have gave a better context to the entire story. And I did see some people saying, I can't believe she would use her car accident as saying she has a speech impediment. We do know she is on some prescription mental health medicine, which that's her deal. I don't know if that's something that's an issue or not. And I just wish that if it is, that she can get the help that she needs. This is just stuff that I've been reading on Reddit, on Instagram, all over the place. And I can't say it, but I can tell you guys what other people are saying. And I just personally wish the best for her. I think that Tom Sandoval, she can do better than him. Anyone can do better than Tom Sandoval. But if you want to stoop to his level with him, then you can have fun with him. But I don't want anything to do with you so far. And this is my first time, like, really getting to know Victoria. And I don't like her attitude. There's just something about her. Even the way, like, her messages are, I could, like, see that catty girl in them. Even, like, with the Mean Girls story where she put that too, like, relevant. Clearly, you need my name to stay relevant. So here, I'm giving you some relevancy. No, that's even worse. And I feel like they're really trying to throw Billie under the bus, and Billie is just, like, you know what? You're not going to do this to me. I'm not going to have you guys do this to me. And she's standing her ground. That's how I feel so far.
Okay. So I just want to say, too, for people who are watching, obviously, because people are automatically, that's just how the world works. People are going to be team this or team that. And I'm trying to understand and put more context into the conversation. I'm not team anyone. Victoria, I have not met you in person. Kyle, I have met you in person. Billie, I've met in person. And I don't have a dog in this fight. But what I do want to ask is, Billie Lee came out and said, especially for you, Victoria, that she has receipts on you. So if you want to play this game, she is more than happy to play. What receipts?
I think we should explain the intervention that she created.
Yeah, we can just go fully in.
Yeah,
because
let's go fully in. That's what I mean. It's Friday night. Let's do it. Go ahead.
You wanted to go? Let's go, Billie.
Yeah. Now I want to know.
We weren't gonna do this, by the way, at all. We were gonna be very, like, put together, and we weren't gonna say anything about this.
Yeah, we want to be sensitive to her feelings.
Yeah.
But then she continued to double down and threaten us.
On the edge of my seat.
You're gonna be on the edge of your seat. It's pretty crazy. We weren't gonna speak about this at all. But Billie, I'm sure you're watching. You kind of put the nail in your own coffin today.
You kind of put the nail in your own coffin today, Billie. Like, I didn't want to have to talk about this, but now you're making me. Let's show these receipts. These receipts. Oh, I can't wait to see these receipts. I know one thing, though, and I don't want to skip ahead to anything, but I know who did show receipts, and I know who barely showed any receipts. It's going to be a good one, though. Let's see what you have to offer, Victoria. Let's see what you want to tell the world. And you too, Kyle. I want to hear what you have to say, too.
So Billie doesn't know that we actually talked, and we knew what she did. So basically, the intervention was created by her, but she wanted to say that it was me who created it, because that way, all the people in Tom's team will believe it, and they will come, and Tom will join. But then she was calling me one day frantically, and I have never received a call with Billie. So then I put all of them. I'm like, I don't have a good feeling about this, because Victoria already told me what she said about me. So then I put Victoria and Tom on the phone, and Billie has no idea. So she was telling me that Victoria is a drug addict, all of these things, and that she got Tom drinking and they don't wake up until 5 p.m. So then I think it's Tom is dropping all the show. He's not booking any gig. And Jason is mad and threatened to quit. And Josh is not having a good time, which is the assistant. So we need to get together and have Tom like really wake him up. I'm like, if that's the case, that's not good. And she's like, they're fighting all the time.
So pretty much there was talks about possibly doing some kind of like an intervention type of thing to kind of see where their friend's head was. And then Billie called you because she was very concerned about her friend and she wanted to talk to you and she entrusted in you and she wanted to let you know what she was witnessing, what she was seeing, what she felt, she believed. And instead, you didn't let her know that, hey, by the way, I have you on speakerphone and the person that you're worried about is listening along with his girlfriend? Wow, Kyle, that's kind of fucked up, dude. To me, that doesn't seem like she was trying to isolate Tom or anything. She was concerned for her friend, and she was trying to figure out if maybe Kyle saw anything and he was concerned for his friend. That's what it seems like to me. What does it seem like to you guys?
Very, like, toxic.
Were you guys fighting all the time, Victoria?
You want me to tell you why we were fighting? Yeah, we were fighting. We weren't fighting all the time. We were fighting, actually. We didn't know this at the time. So what was happening is Billie was trying to isolate Tom pretty much. That's what we found out at the very end. And I was close. Well, I wasn't close with Billie, but I trusted Billie at the time. I liked Billie. And there was one time in the kitchen, which there are cameras and there is a camera in Tom's living room that points towards the kitchen. Okay. And the red light is on. So I'm assuming that it's recording, hoping, praying to God it's recording. But anyways, I'm sitting down in a chair and she's started crying over a podcast. I don't know, something that's irrelevant. And she started like just talking about something. And then all of a sudden I said something like, do you trust Kyle? I don't know how we got into the conversation. I can't remember. I'm also just a bit like frazzled right now and kind of worked up right now, to be honest.
No, that's fine.
I'm a little bit worked up right now. But anyways, so she stood and she like put her hand on the kitchen counter and she looked at me and she was like, girl, she was like, you cannot trust Kyle. Kyle has, and this is something you should never say, no matter what, you do not joke around about this. Kyle has tried to drug Tom and take advantage of him. But don't tell Tom, because whatever you tell Tom, you know, he's not going to, whatever you tell Tom, like anything that she would tell me, she would be like, oh, but you can't tell Tom because Tom won't believe it.
This is on camera?
This is in the kitchen when they were having that conversation.
And then so I'm having, she said, don't tell anybody. So I'm having to keep my mouth shut about this, right? And I'm like, I'm like literally like, not to make this about me whatsoever, but like I've had friends and myself and stuff been taken advantage of before. And that is just something you just do not joke around. You do not say that at all. That is not something that you mess around about.
Why mention that the kitchen has cameras and that the light was red, that you hope that it capture it, and not confirm if it was captured or not? Because those are very heavy allegations. And if that's something that was said to you, I would hope, knowing that your boyfriend is the said victim, that you said something to him and said, please, babe, go look at these tapes. I swear this is what she said to me. And have him watch the tapes. Because those are some heavy allegations. I'm not saying that this is true, that this is what Billie had said to her or not. I know what the text message that we're going to see says. So let's just wait and see. But if you say that there are cameras that had taped it, I would hope that you bring receipts. I hope this is one of those receipts that you show. You haven't shown it yet. I know you're not going to show it today, but I hope you bring this to the table, especially if you're making that allegation against her and it's not true, or even vice versa. Her making that allegation up against Kyle. It needs to be proven if that's what was said, and we need to know the truth. And I also agree with Victoria. That's not something you joke around about at all. I hope to God. This isn't like her making something up to make Billie look bad either. Like, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. I hope this is something that never, ever, ever happened. Like, I don't like Tom Sandoval, but I don't wish that on anybody. I really hope that these allegations are not true. And I just wish people wouldn't say them if they're not true. If that is the case.
Right.
At all. That is not something that you just say.
So she would accuse me for drugging Tom, and then she'll accuse Victoria being a drug user. So then to basically separate all of us, to make all of us hate each other. And then she wanted to get rid of the assistant also. So,
and just finishing this off. So it's I'm holding this to myself, and because I was like, do you trust Tom? No. Do you trust Kyle? I'm sorry. No, you can't trust Kyle. Kyle's obsessed with Tom, this and that. And then so our arguments where you're asking, our arguments were stemming from Billie. And it was just like, I would go to Tom and I felt like I couldn't say anything, and it was building up. And then I'd be like, do you think that Kyle would be using you in any way? Do you think that Kyle this, that? I didn't know you at the time. I just met you. I didn't know how long that they were friends at all. So that happened. And then nobody believed me, which is understandable. I'm just coming in. They've been friends for 9 years. I understand. I had to just take a step back, like control my emotion for a bit and be like, okay, I'm just a new girl walking into a relationship. Of course, he's going to be like, why in the hell are you talking about Kyle and questioning my best friend, you know?
But girl, if this conversation happened in the kitchen where you mentioned the fact that there was a camera and the light was red, why didn't you go get the tapes? I swear to God, this is what she said to me. Why didn't you say go check the tapes? This is what frustrates me. Okay, let's see what else. I don't really believe that Billie would say that Kyle drugged Tom, but I don't know because I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know like what they do when they hang out, how they party, all of that. Who knows? I don't know. Let's just keep listening.
So then I'm like, you know what? Billie, when I have the text on my phone, says, hey girl, call me. And then she walked in one day and she goes, she looks at me and I was sitting at the table and I already told Tom about what I just said. I broke it to Tom and Tom was like, what the fuck? Like, and then,
Tom was like, I don't even do drugs.
I'm sorry, I'm worked up right now. It's just not something you throw around at all. And it's unacceptable. But
yeah, so she created the intervention.
Okay. Well, then I have to ask, is this the thing that happened in New York around Watch What Happens Live when
we had the
followings? Huh?
She was never in New York.
No, but I'm saying there was obviously it got media attention that all of a sudden after a Watch What Happens Live event where you were there, that people are breaking up, people are unfollowing each other. Did that have to do with Billie, or was that just your own separate relationship?
Oh no, the reason why she unfollowed, she texted Tom and a paragraph. I can't remember what it said. Tom showed me. And I'm pretty sure she just didn't have her closure with Tom. And then eventually just unfollowed us. And we know how she can be kind of like volatile, or Tom told me that. And he was a little nervous about the situation. So we didn't unfollow her first because we just didn't want the drama or anything. So we let her unfollow us and then we unfollowed her.
Yeah, she definitely will retaliate.
And yeah. I mean, have you seen her the past couple of days, like posting, talking about me and then deleting it and then posting and then deleting it. And then it's just like, and I've kept my composure and kept quiet.
So pretty much Billie sent Tom a text, probably setting her boundaries there, and then unfollowed you guys. And then you unfollowed her. But why did Victoria also unfollow Sandoval? That made no sense either. There's some questions not being answered. And yes, the last couple of days, she has been making videos because let's start where it all began. Victoria, you were commenting on Vanderpump Rules fan accounts about how Billie doesn't know what boundaries are and she doesn't know what she's talking about. You started it. You were the one making comments. She responded to you. She didn't want to have to go on her podcast and explain it, but you know what? She did. She knew that that's what felt right to her. And then now because of this is what you guys are doing. And you've also made other comments on your IG regarding how, she's not relevant and you are going to put it all out there. So why do you think she's now going to show her side of things? Because you are putting it out there like you said that you were going to do. She has that right to do it just like you do, Victoria. I don't know. These people, I don't know. And can we all remember that it wasn't even Billie that said anything? It was Joe on a podcast saying that, she was proud of Billie. She had to set some boundaries. She knows it was hard and she couldn't speak for her. But that's all really that was said. We heard it. It wasn't that bad. So none of this would have been necessary if people just went their separate ways and didn't say anything. Yes, people would speculate, but that's, what's going to happen regardless. Now it's just getting worse. I mean, it's literally blown up.
I was upset, crying and stuff because I'm getting messages that I'm a drug addict, which I'm not. I don't do drugs.
And the craziest thing is once she found out that we are on,
she's a bully.
Yeah, once she found out that I'm going to be on the podcast, she immediately texted me today. So I have proof that now she switched the statement saying that Victoria said that I wanted to drug Tom and take advantage on him. And why are you supporting her?
Do you have the phone to read the text?
Yeah, I have the phone.
Wait a minute. But also you're saying that this is on the kitchen camera too. So it's like, you can back that shit up.
So I told Tom, rewinding to that, I was like, nobody would believe me or he wouldn't believe me because they've been friends for a while. Like I said, I understand I'm a new girl coming in, you don't know me. And then, so I'm like, okay, I have to get them to believe me. I have to get them to believe me. This is fucked up. This is bad. So Tom was recording a podcast. She walked in, she looked at me and Tom already knew everything. And I was like, Tom, those fucking cameras have to be recording. You go back and look. He's like, no, they're not recording. They're not recording. And I'm like, I was like, please look and see if they're recording because everything will be right there. You will see what.
Yeah, we don't want to be your words against our words.
Yeah, I just saw a red light on the thing and I'm like, please look it up. And then it's not recording or anything. But so what happened is
I arrived.
Tom was recording a podcast one day. She walked in and she looked at me and she goes, is everything okay? And I just looked down and I didn't even look at her. I didn't want to look at her. I was disgusted. I just looked down and I go, yep. And she felt very uncomfortable. She knew that I was not happy and she left.
Oh, so conveniently the cameras were not recording anything. That's convenient. That's real convenient. Personally, in my opinion, I don't think it was Billie that said anything about Kyle and Kyle drugging Tom. If anything, I think it would be Victoria maybe asking her, hey, I have a serious question. I don't know. I kind of feel awkward with Kyle. Do you think Kyle would ever do this to Tom? I could see that. I don't know Victoria. I know Billie, which I really don't know Billie a lot, but I know a lot about Billie. And I just don't feel like she would be that type. And just the vibes and the way that Victoria is talking just gives me that jealous girlfriend vibe that needs to know everything, that worries about everything, overthinks everything. And I get it. She's with Tom Sandoval. I would be overthinking everything too if I was with somebody that I know did crazy ass shit and has hurt many women and would have a 7-month affair with their best friend's, their girlfriend's best friend. I get it. I just feel like so much is being twisted at this point. And so far, no proof to anything. This is good. We're doing real good.
And yeah, as she should be. She should feel uncomfortable because that's not something you throw around.
And then when we were in the car.
And then, so what happened was
When in the call, she outed herself again.
She goes, please call me. There's I don't know where my phone is, but it says something. I kind of want to look at my phone and read it because I don't want to get.
Yeah, if you want to grab your phone, grab your phone.
Yeah, I don't like getting. Let's see.
I've just never in my entire life meet anybody like that.
She messaged me and says, okay, well, clearly you're updated about something, so please call me when you can. This was March 25th. And I called her back and I waited and I said, hey guys, I am going to catch her in it. And hey, Billy, guess what? They were listening in and they heard everything. They heard you admit that you said that Kyle was.
Yeah, she's the one who's making that accusation. And then now she turned around and saying Victoria is the one.
Yeah, she turned around.
Okay, so Billie didn't know that she was on the phone and that people, well, she knew she was on the phone, but she didn't know that other people were listening to her.
Right. So we all heard her.
But see, at this point, you, Victoria, know what really was said. You could have been wording things in certain ways to make it seem like it was Billie that was the one who suggested it, when maybe it was really you that had the concern that maybe that's what was happening, and she was talking to you as a friend, and you were sitting there trying to set her up and make her look bad and try to isolate her from her friends, who she's been friends with for a long time, who has been there for that man through thick and thin, through Sandoval, through everything. And just because maybe you don't like her or you fear her, whatever the case may be, you are trying to isolate her away from your boyfriend. That is what I'm feeling. This is how I feel right now. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if I'm off base. I don't mind. I want to hear what your thoughts and opinions are.
Okay, so now I have to ask that, now that all of this has transpired, is there anything else, by the way, because we're saying nails in the coffin, she's saying receipts. Am I missing anything? Is there like a big smoking gun bomb here?
Her receipt is basically, she said, I've talked shit about Victoria, but it was more like her planning it. She texted me and saying all the things that Victoria did, they're druggy, they're getting him, they're toxic, they're always fighting. So I said, well, then they're very volatile.
I wonder why we were fighting, because we had literally
because she's the one who's making everybody fight.
Do you
try to isolate Tom?
Actually, it seems like the other way around. It was like you were trying to isolate Tom, and she was trying to help a friend that she saw who wasn't acting himself. He wasn't acting normal. There was things about him that she noticed were very different and not very comfortable, and he wasn't looking well, feeling well, doing anything well, and she cared. And that's what that seems like to me. But let's see. I know what's going to happen next, and it's not very nice.
Okay,
and we found out why.
And should we go in about the?
Please don't even ask. I want to hear it.
So here's another thing. She wanted. Actually, do you want to explain this one?
Victoria, I think that you should explain it. You got it. They want to hear. There's 3,000 people.
I don't know if I want to say it or you should say it.
Somebody's got to say it. Now you've already said it. Oh, Jesus. I'm like afraid. What is it?
I think if we don't say it, she's going to change the story again.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to say it.
So
she asked Tom to give her a baby.
Wait,
and then she's been telling the entire town. Telling Karamo.
She asked Tom to be her sperm donor, and she also wanted Tom's last name. And Tom, at the moment, whenever she asked, he was like, he told me, he said, I was like flattered that somebody would want my genetics, and because at the time, I guess he was with Ariana, they weren't gonna have kids and stuff like that or whatever. So he was like flattered in a way of, because he's always wanted kids, but not with Billie. But like he was just flattered that somebody that wanted that. But he was like, his response was, and you have to like be mindful, like if somebody were to ask you that, you can't just be like, oh no, like it just come off rude, So
it's also not every day somebody just asks you for their sperm. I've been asked for my sperm twice, but yeah. Like it's not every day that happens. That's a very serious conversation. Okay, so she wanted Tom's sperm because she wanted a baby.
Yeah, so she wanted the baby, and then she said what was it? She was like, yeah, she wanted the Sandoval last name. And he said his response was, because it was very on the spot, like, maybe I'll think about it. And then like he got nervous. And then like he was like, oh, no.
Yeah,
like,
he didn't know what to say. So
he didn't know what to say. But then he obviously didn't want that at all, you know? But then they're at an event or a party. And someone, one of, was it a friend who?
Karamo from Queer Eyes. She basically
said, I heard you guys are going to have a baby. And then,
yeah, so Tom immediately realized that that news has been traveled. So he said, no, we're not having a baby.
And so Billie,
did Tom ever think about
trying to distance himself from you slowly because of that too as well?
To me, this is a very private conversation that was between her and Sandoval as two best friends sharing a conversation. She was probably sharing how she felt in life and how maybe she wished she could have a baby and like, would you do this for me? Like, there are friends that do that for friends, and it's not necessarily something you have to say yes on the spot, of course. And I do know that there were several conversations about this. And I also know that this happened way before Victoria was even a thought in Tom Sandoval's mind. Whether it, like, you know, went over into the relationship with Victoria. Maybe he said something to Victoria about it, or a joke came about and, you know, Victoria overheard. But this was something that they as friends were talking about. And if he did not feel comfortable, that's his friend to go to and explain that to. And I know that we will hear more from Billie about this, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I do feel that that is kind of a fucked up move on their part for even mentioning something very sensitive and personal about Billie. This has nothing to do with the fight. And if he was trying to, you know, create boundaries because of that, that would have happened a long time ago when the conversation originally happened and they had talked previously afterwards. I mean, like you said, he was with Ariana when this first all happened. You even said it yourself, Victoria. So how did that cause the boundaries to come between Tom and Billie? That's what you're saying started these boundaries. Just some food for thought for everybody.
So, Victoria, did Tom ever consider, even though he was flattered about being asked for his sperm, to potentially let Billie be a mom and give Billie a baby? Obviously, we know based off of what you're saying, he was flattered, but was that ever something that he considered or no?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I think he said he wanted to save it with the people that he truly loved. That's a life partner.
Yeah.
Because he's also a very
But he didn't want to be mean.
Person.
He didn't want to be mean at that time. I understand that. I want to be like, no, you know, it's not. And then, yeah.
Okay. So I think at least
not at all.
So I think at least she's doing all of that to ensure that she's keeping Tom as the sperm donor or the best friend or whatever. So I just want Billie to know that when she accused me something like that, I could easily sue her, because now that we have it in black and white.
And slander.
Yeah, because this is damaging for my brand. This is damaging me as a person. So, but on top of all of these things, I also understand that she has a lot of pain, and I understand that. You don't need to apologize to me, Billie, and I forgave you. And I don't want to out you like this because I don't think it's cool.
So you're not suing her, just to be clear.
Yeah, but with her personality, I know this was just gonna keep going back and forth, going on and on. So if we don't bring out the truth, I wanted to call her and talk to her in private. But I just know with her personality, it just won't work. She'll throw us under the bus. She'll spin the story some more, and she'll make it entertaining. As you can see, all of her video, it's about entertainment value. It's not really about telling her side of the story, but to make it entertaining for the audience. And yeah.
First off, how is it defamation and slander when Billie said that Victoria was the one who said that? That's not slander against you, Kyle. You cannot sue Billie for saying that Victoria said that about you. And let's just say that when Victoria called Billie and they had the conversation. Let's just say for shits and giggles that Billie even said in that conversation, yeah, I did say that Kyle drugged Tom. You are in a two-party consent state, which means they needed to let you know that they were recording you, and that cannot be used as evidence towards slander because she did not know that you were recording her, Victoria, if that was the case. And I say if because so far we haven't seen any proof. We haven't seen anything at all. But I had to throw that in there for them.
I want to ask a question too. When it comes down to, because obviously, and I know that you guys can't speak much on this, but it's not news to the Bravoverse that right now there is a show that's filming that has Britney Spears' ex, Dorinda Medley, Tom, all of these people. And anybody who doesn't know, when you have these certain types of shows, like whether it's The Bachelor or Traitors or, I don't know, Love Island, anything like that, production takes your phone away. So you don't get to keep your phone. Did it ever cross your mind that once this stuff started coming out, the timing of it with Tom not being able to say anything, because really you guys are kind of the mouthpieces for Tom at the moment if anybody does attack him, because he doesn't have any access to retaliate. Do you think that this was calculated, or do you think that it's just, oh my God, the timing's crazy? Like, where are we at?
For normal people, I would say no, but for Billie, she's quite calculated, and she's going on tour right now, so maybe that helped her with her views and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, if you look at her other podcasts that she has like 5 comments, and now that I'm involved, it's like it's blown up and everything. And now I don't know, she has like 500, 600 followers on her.
Yeah, when Tom and Joe goes on, her view is way more. Yeah. You guys can see it.
Yeah, so I'm blocked from everything. So right before she came out with everything, she just.
That's why I was saying, like, if she wants,
everybody's sending me this stuff anyways.
Yeah, if she wants the entertainment value, she got it. If she wanted the clicks, she got it this time. But unfortunately, it's going to be on her own expense, because this kind of, I don't know if you want that kind of click, especially doing it to me, to Victoria, and to Tom. Tom's already been like really like struggling and being hurt. Hell. Yeah. And those kind of things that she did, it's not best friend quality. If my best friend do me wrong for whatsoever reason, even when we are not friends anymore, I will not publicly throw him under the bus like that. Especially when she said Victoria is dating Tom, that it's the lowest of low and she's desperate, then why would you send your best friend T?
Oh, and why do you want to have his kids too?
I don't know if it's all about timing and knowing that he's away and he can't respond, so this is why she's saying something now. Honestly, I really think it had to do with Joe. Joe went on a podcast. She said what she said. People were already interested in why these people unfollowed each other. And then we got a little bit more information. And it was like, okay, what's going on? And then Victoria involved herself by leaving a comment. And that's what set it off. I do believe that if Victoria never left a comment, that this would never have come out. That is my opinion, but I want to know what you think. Do you think if Victoria never left a comment that Billie still would have brought this out? Let me know down below.
Wait a minute. So I have to ask both of you too. Does any part of either one of you think that any of this is exaggerated or brought up or made bigger for potential storylines for season 12 of Vanderpump Rules? Or do you think that it has nothing to do?
I hope that it's her take, because that will make her less of an evil, because she's doing it for money.
Wait, so you hope that she's doing it?
I hope that was her take of, I'm entangled with all these people and I will have a shot of Vanderpump Rules 12.
Otherwise, that's evil.
Yeah, because as much as she said, I will not come back, she was on season 11.
Okay.
So that means.
So you're hoping that there's an ulterior motive, because it would make more sense to you. It would help you understand what's happening, as opposed to just this all coming out of the blue and being not associated with the show. But then also it makes me, my next question for you too, because I'm sitting here and it's like my wheels are spinning with all of this, because the show is, and Bravo is essentially conflict and resolution. That's how the show works. But this is also real life. This is happening. There's no cameras around right now. No one's filming. Is there a resolution to this for you guys and for, I guess maybe you guys can speak on behalf of Tom. Maybe you can't, I don't know. But and for Tom with Billie, like, is there still a friendship moving forward? Can we fix this?
I think for Tom's friendship with her, it's up to Tom to speak up. I will not speak for her. I mean, for him.
Okay.
But for mine, I never really have a relationship with Billie. Like I said, I was very cautious with her because I've seen how she is with people. So we never have conversation. We never really talk. We never really have a relationship. So I think what I did wrong was I'm too close to Tom for her comfort. So I won't have a relationship with her before I don't have one now.
Okay. So no love lost. No. You don't want to be, after this is kind of your opportunity to have the conversation and at least
I just want her to know that I don't hate her.
We're done.
Feel bad. I really feel bad for her that she has to struggle and do all of these things to position herself of whatever that she wanted, maybe a baby, maybe a relationship, or maybe get on the show. I hope she gets what she gets, but then I also hope that she understand that she's a very pretty girl. She should utilize that and utilize her creativity and also her passion, like we saw on videos, to put it on her comedy show. I think that would do her well.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think that Billie is trying to do this for a storyline to secure a spot on season 12. I don't think that at all. Who would she hang out with? I mean, yeah, she kind of still talks to some of the other people, but really, she was Tom Sandoval's confidant. She was his best friend. She was the one there for him if it wasn't Kyle. So what place would Billie have? Honestly, I think this has been a long time coming. She's witnessed her friend slowly declining. She's tried to make him aware of what she's seen and how she feels. He is being aggressive and nothing's wrong. You're lying. I don't believe you. Whatever the case may be. And she's like, you know what? Then I can't do anything more to help you. I'm trying to. You're not letting me open up to you and let me be honest with you about what I feel and see. And if that's the case, then we need to go our separate ways. And then I feel like enough is enough, and they pushed her to this point. I do. I really feel like they pushed her to a point, and she has every right to tell her story, just like they have every right to tell theirs. I just want to see some proof. You say you're going to show the proof, girl, but you haven't shown anything, Victoria. I can't believe somebody I don't know. And I'll say this. I believe more so far what I've seen, and a lot of the proof has come from Billie's side. I will also say that Billie did a live premiere of her latest episode, number 19, which is where she shows a lot of receipts, and I am working on that next. So stay tuned for that, because that will be very telling to a lot of the stuff that's being said here today, with actual receipts.
Okay, so we have something positive. Okay, yeah. Positive is good.
I don't want to hold grudges. I don't want her to live in a nightmare thinking everybody hates her. No. We kind of understand that she's going through pain. There's love. There's a lot of struggle there. So we don't want to bash her. We just wanted to lay it out there to protect ourselves, because these are not the accusations that anybody wanted.
And then Victoria, for you too, because Kyle's essentially, at the end of the day, he's saying we didn't really have much of a relationship before. So obviously now with all of this playing out, we're not gonna have much of a relationship after. It's almost like no love lost. But for you, you came into this relationship with Tom. Billie was obviously a big figure in Tom's life. She's important to Tom, or maybe still is, I don't know. But for you, is there a path to move forward, or would you prefer, even if Tom decides to still be friends, would you prefer to separate yourself? Where are you at?
I mean, don't want to speak on Tom, but I'm going to say where I'm at, but I don't want to speak on Tom, but he's very, that's his best friend. I don't think that Tom's ever going to go back to that friendship. Okay. Because like I said before, that is something you just do not say. You do not put that out there. That is something that is crossing so many boundaries, and it is not acceptable. Yeah.
Billie definitely have loyalty. There's love and there's struggle, and there's a lot of complex relationship between them. That's for them to sort it out.
Regardless. But anyways, no, I actually don't want to have a relationship with her, because she crossed that boundary that just went too far. You are now my friend and I have your back, and that is not okay. And I know that Kyle would not do that. As I've gotten to know you, you are such a kind, good person. You are such a great friend. He really is. He holds himself with class, and I feel bad for Kyle. We weren't even going to come out with this because we didn't want people even thinking twice that this has happened, because Kyle would never do that.
Yeah, so, we've struggled for a long time, and I told Tom I don't want to like out her. I don't want, because I think a lot of people has been in Billie's situation when you like somebody or the solid friendship turn into a little bit more. It's not a crime. It's not her fault that if your friendship grew a little stronger than more than a handshake. But
and to be fair, to kind of piggyback on this, sometimes when we do, like when we have relationships that we're so passionate about and we love people so much and they're so important to us and we get hurt, it does sometimes make people want to act out because ultimately they're trying to get your attention. And I'm not saying this specifically for Billie, but I can see that where Billie could be hurting right now. And I can see that 100%.
And I do think that Billie is hurt. And I think Billie finally realized there was a lot of trauma bonding with her and Tom, and that was why they became so close, because they relied on each other for that support that they needed through the trauma that they were going through at the time. And sometimes, yes, that's a hard thing to separate once things are better, or if they're getting worse again. It's like if something's getting worse again and you're trauma bonding to be better because of something terrible that's happening, how do you let your friend know, hey, I think that you're going down again and I really want to build you back up. That's what we're here for. And if you're not allowing that advice and seeing what she's trying to tell you, then you're going to distance yourself away from her. You're going to push her away. You're not going to want her around because she's now figuring out what's going on and you're trying to still hide it. I really do feel bad for her because I know she's very hurt by this. She lost somebody she thought was a really good friend to her. And I think she's finally seeing some of the things that other people were seeing. And I hope for her she can pick herself back up and keep moving forward. I think she did a great job with her episode that she put out, and I can't wait for you guys to see that. I think she will be said and done with everything after we see that here on my channel. I think there won't be much more that Billie needs to say unless, for whatever reason, Tom comes home and starts putting out crazy allegations and accusations, or Victoria starts doing the same. Billie has every right to defend herself. I don't know. I just feel like Victoria isn't really a good fit for Tom, vice versa. He's not a good fit for her. And if you're 4 months into a relationship and already arguing and blaming it on other people, something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong, and it shouldn't be like that at all. And I don't know, there's just something about the way she's like, and what she did to Kyle, I could never. I don't know. I just feel like she was the one that said it and then twisted it to make it seem like it was Billie. I just get that feeling. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me. But I want to know what you guys think about all this. I love hearing your opinions on it and kind of just going over everything that we're watching and is playing out so that we can all better maybe understand this together.
But also, to add to that, you're saying, Victoria, you're not going to put your hand on the stove twice. Like, you already got burned. You've seen it. You're going through it right now. It's not going to happen again. You're like, I see this.
I'm just very protective of the people that I care about. And I'm not going to listen to that shit. That's not okay. It is not okay. So no. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Stop attacking my character. Stop saying that I don't work. You don't know me. I do work. I also take care of my father. I'm a good person. I'm not.
What do you mean you take care of your father?
She's been taking a break from her.
I've been taking a break from work. My dad had swelling in his brain, and I've been taking care of him. So the fact that she goes on there and says, oh, she can't hold a job, she can't hold a conversation. My dad almost died, and he has memory loss, and I don't know. I'm like,
It's
it's just like, come on, just leave me the fuck alone. Like, leave me alone. Like, I'm not used to this kind of life. I'm not on the show, like, at all. I'm not on the show. I have no intentions on being on the show. Like, I'm literally just like, I don't know. It's just like hard to wake up with like people just being so fucking mean, like for no reason. And I haven't done anything besides literally like fall in love with somebody that I had no clue what I was walking into. I had no clue. So you to say that I don't work, you know what I do during the day? Every day I take care of my dad, but literally like his brain swelled up. He has a really bad memory now. I've taken care of him since I was 18 years old. I've always carried a job to take care of myself and my dad since I was 18.
How old are you now, by the way?
I'm 31.
Do you live with your dad?
So I got my dad. I have my dad at a separate place, but he's staying at my house currently right now.
So you do have your own place.
I have my own place. I have a really nice, beautiful home in the hills. I'm successful, like meaning like I'm not like, I have a job. I have my own, like, I take care of myself and my father.
You're saying you pay your own bills, you have your own money.
Yeah, she wanted to make sure that the people who thinks that she's coming for Tom because of.
And I'm not coming from money. I've worked my ass off to get where I am right now. And I took a break because of, first off, I got into that car accident where I told you, as you can probably see that I do stumble across my words sometimes. And that is from the car accident. I also have memory loss too. And I'm like,
and she knew about this. I don't know why she's using it, saying that
I feel completely terrible about what is happening to Victoria's father. I think that's a very hard thing for her to be going through. I think maybe it's weighing on her more than she realizes. And maybe that's something she as well needs to talk to somebody about to be able to balance this out, because she can't just do this all on her own, especially with memory loss. That's very hard to deal with. I really think she needs help in that area. And I really think that the only way to keep providing for your father who has this issue is to keep working. So maybe you do need some help with somebody being around him to help him while you go out and you work some and do what you love doing while you still can. I hate to say it, modeling, like, there is a cutoff age. And yes, you can model for years, but the top, like, time where you're going to get the most jobs is going to be now. And if you want to provide for your family, you need to go out and you need to work. And I do feel like, in a way, Tom was trying to help her by getting an assistant and asking Billie for help so that he can motivate her, because I do feel like maybe he really does care for her and he knows how much she does help her father, and he just wants to see her continue to do well, continue to succeed, and be able to do what she needs to support him. I feel like Billie was just being really a concerned friend, and they're flipping the switch on her, and she's having to be the way she is because this is what they're saying about her. It really breaks my heart. And I do wish Victoria's dad all the best. I hope that there is something that can be done for him to live a more peaceful, relaxed life with the help that he needs, so that way he can enjoy what he has left. That really breaks my heart for her.
And then, like, my dad is a very sensitive subject with me. So it's like, to say that I can't get a job. I actually just was working on like castings yesterday. I'm still doing stuff on the side, but like,
that's what I think people want to know about you too, because people are asking, and I've seen a lot of questions about this, like, are you consistently working as a model, or do you have another business, or do you like?
So I was just with news model management, and we just separated about a month ago. Okay. I was with Ford. I was with Ford for, I believe, I can't say how many years, since I'm 31 now. I started modeling when I was 19. My mom got me into modeling in Chicago, Ford, Chicago. And I was actually the first model that they signed unseen. So meaning like my mom walked into the agency and they signed me without even seeing me in person. I walked in and they were like, "Oh, thank God. Like you're exactly like the pictures and stuff."
The pictures.
And yeah,
Wow.
so it's kind of cool. And then
just to give context to that too, guys, and not to make this about me at all, but like I was signed with Wilhelmina and it's a process. Like you walk in, you have to take your shirt off, you have to do stills. It's like straight on, side, corner, this, show us your body. It's a whole process. And then the executives at these big modeling agencies, whether it's Wilhelmina, Ford, LA Models, whatever it is, then they have a conversation and that's when they decide to sign you. So the fact that they signed you, like unseen, it's actually a pretty big deal.
It's kind of cool. But and like thankfully for my mom for going in there and doing that. But yeah, so I traveled the world. I went to I really wanted to model in New York, but I started in Chicago, and then they're like, well, if you can handle Milan, you can go to New York. And then so anyways, I traveled the world pretty much modeling. I worked my ass off to get where I was, saved up money, and I now take care of my father, or I've been taking care of my father, but extra now since what happened to him. But yeah, so like to say I don't work and to say these things about me, just Billie, just stop being mean. Stop being a mean girl. Like it's not nice. It's not. Why are you representing it's bullying. It's bullying. It's not nice.
I don't know about the signing a model's sight unseen story, but I'm not saying that it's not true. I just find that very, very hard to believe, especially with Adam said. Like, usually you have to do so much work, then they have to talk, then they decide to sign you. It's a whole process. So that is very interesting. I will say that. And just because you did all of that before doesn't mean like right now you're not working as much. Your contract just ended with one of the agents that you were with. So now you have to find a new agent. So yeah, maybe you're not working as much because you're taking care of your dad and you're still doing castings here and there, but you still need to support your family. And I know that maybe you've done well with your money, that you've saved it up and this is how you can take care of them, but you still need to work to be able to support yourself, your family, especially your father who needs you the most. And I think as a friend, Billie was trying to be helpful when Tom came to her and said, "Hey, let's get her an assistant. I just want to see her do great and get gigs and, get the ball moving," because he knew that it impacted you and he wanted to see the best for you. And things are now being twisted because of things that have been said. And you're calling Billie a mean girl, but really, you were the one being a mean girl by the things that you were saying. And technically, it wasn't Billie that said what she said. It was Joe that said that she's proud of Billie for setting boundaries. So you were really coming at Billie at something you don't even know that Billie actually said. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she's sitting there like, Victoria is the victim and Billie's being so mean to me. And really, you're doing the same thing. You're instigating. You're both instigating each other. So you're both going to defend yourselves. That's how it works. If you don't want anything to do with Billie, don't keep adding your little 2 cents, petty little comments in then. And it will end. I promise. But the more you keep instigating, the more you keep saying things that you're maybe exaggerating on, the more receipts are going to come out and the more is going to be shown, and it's not going to be good for you or her or both, for all we know.
Do you think
alone?
Okay, so even though you don't want to pave a way forward, are you going to, moving forward, because we can't speak for Tom, obviously he's not on this live, can you, if Tom decides to move forward with Billie, can you forgive the posts, the podcast, the lives? Like, can you be around Billie at least if he chooses to continue a relationship, or will you just separate yourself?
I cannot forgive what she said about Kyle.
Okay.
And I will not forgive that because, like I said, that's just something that you don't say because it's happened to
drugging someone and trying to say somebody who is trying to drug someone and take advantage of them. Yes, that's indefensible. 100%.
I'm so glad she texted me after she freaked out knowing that I'm going on the podcast, trying to get me off to do this podcast. Then she literally say that Victoria is the one who said that.
Yeah.
It's so mind-blowing to me.
She did this to herself because we weren't going to say anything before that.
Okay.
Can I have my phone? I wanted to
read the text.
Yeah, I wanted to show you the text.
I want to hear the text. Before we get into the fan questions, the subscriber questions, the questions that I asked for from the Adams family, who I know you guys are watching, over 3,000 people in the room. I love you guys and happy Friday. And thank you guys for being respectful in the chat if you are. And I hope you are because, you know, exercising kindness is free. I want to ask some fan questions, but I do want to hear this text message. I'm very curious.
So I think you can see it right here. It's from Billie. And this is what she said.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I want to see. So,
oh, what are you doing?
Hold on. My bad. There. She basically said, Victoria Little said you were fake and enough with Tom and drugged him. How are you going on a podcast with her? You know how bad things go with Tom and Victoria. I never said a word till she started commenting on shit.
So this circles back to trying to isolate Tom. Do you see what the pattern here?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. People are also saying, Kyle, that's a screenshot. Why aren't you showing the real message?
Show the real message.
Is that just a screenshot or is there a real
message? That was screenshot so I can blow it up.
Yeah.
But there is a message.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to show the message.
Yeah. That's the entire message.
Okay. So there is a real message.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
I just wasn't sure if they could see it, so I screenshot it.
Okay. So it's a lot of, you know what, a lot of people, by the way, are going to chalk this up to is they're going to say that this is a lot of she said, or Kyle, he said, she said. And I do actually feel bad about this situation because it seems like there's a lot of love here, especially with the way that all of you guys have supported the same person. You guys have the same common denominator, which obviously would be Tom Sandoval. That's why you guys are all here even talking, because Kyle's best friends with Tom. Billie was best friends with Tom. Maybe is not anymore. You're dating Tom. And I think that nobody wants to kind of go through this. And it's now becoming toxic and tumultuous. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, we know who's the toxic one.
So we've covered this. We wanted Tom's sperm. You didn't try moving stuff out of Ariana's room is what you say, right?
Yes. Can I add something really quick?
Please.
And then she goes, she called me a bitch or something. And she goes, I wouldn't have even said anything. This bitch wouldn't have commented because I commented on, I can't remember, some fan account, I believe. And that's a lie because she told Josh, Tom's assistant and cousin, that she was like, oh, well, I haven't talked to Tom. I'm going to have to come out publicly and reveal that we're not friends anymore because that's what my manager said. So it's not because of my comment, because she said that a month or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
So she was always going to say something. It wasn't because of my comment at all.
Well, even if she said this a month or two ago, she hasn't said anything, period. And maybe that's what she chose to do. And then you left the comment and she said, you know what? Now I really got to say something. Like, I don't get these people. You just said 2 months ago, a month or two ago, this is her plan. Well, she didn't take 2 months to make this plan happen. It happened because of everything that unfolded. I see it. If Billie Lee really wanted to say why she wasn't friends with Tom Sandoval anymore, she would have done it. She is that type of a person. I really think that it bothered her. I really think she was still grieving it. And I really think that she cared enough about him that she didn't want anything more to come towards him. And this is where it all ended up.
Also, for such a good friend, she and this was a part of the kitchen conversation. She goes like this: "Oh, well, we need to hire you do you still want an assistant?" And I did want an assistant because I was overwhelmed with taking care of my father. With like, I was still I had my manager and stuff, and I had to do like video recording castings. I was just moving into my house, which is huge. I have to like furnish it, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time to furnish that new house, especially if it's larger. So I was like, I am overwhelmed. I need an assistant. That it wasn't because Tom said I needed to get my lazy ass out of bed or anything. It's the exact opposite, actually. I was overwhelmed. But she was like this. She was like, he's not doing his job. I think we should fire him and get you guys both an assistant to share. Talking about his cousin. So such a good friend is talking about firing a cousin. I don't think that's up to me. It's up to Billie. It's up to nobody but Tom.
Yeah, and trying to use me to gather the team.
You don't go
to
after
get rid
family.
of Victoria. It's literally crazy.
And to go after family, you don't talk about people's family either. And that's Tom's decision.
Do you now, when Tom is back in the house, and you said that you have this new house that you're going to be furnishing, do you think that you'll continue to go back and forth to that house, or will you just probably predominantly stay in your house and have Tom come there?
I'm sorry. What was the question?
The question is now that you have your new house in the hills.
I've had it since like October.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you've had this house.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
This was in the beginning. So this timeline of like this conversations with Billie, this was a while ago. Like we stopped all talking. I think it was, the last time I spoke to Billie was March 25th, I believe. But we were stopped talking to her. Like we were stopping talking to her in the beginning of March.
Okay. And then
so I was still like moving stuff around, and still it takes a lot of time to furnish a house, but I've had it since October.
Well, I can't really be the one to be like, well, maybe you guys shouldn't move in together. It's only been a couple months. But I can totally understand, like, some nights staying at her house, some nights staying at his house, especially if she has to take care of her father. You would think that they would want to spend more time over at her house so she could be there for her father. I mean, I get furnishing a house is a lot. It took Tom and Ariana a lot to furnish their house, but they got a lot of stuff custom made as well. That was the other thing. And just because she stopped talking to Billie in March doesn't mean other people were not talking to Billie still, like Tom, and having conversations with her, or even Billie and Kyle, because clearly at that point she had felt like something was wrong and she was caring for a friend and she was trying to see if she could help him and if he wanted help, and that didn't go over very well. And look at where we all are now. I will also say I do know another YouTuber who is a good friend of mine. Her name is RealiTea, one word, with Krista Marie. She talks a lot about all of the Bravo stuff. She does a lot of lives as well. And we were both together in Billie's premiere of episode 19, which I am doing for you guys. And she said that she was looking into whether or not Victoria has this house in the hills. And I've done a little bit of looking myself. I know California, they kind of make you pay to see what people own and things like that. So we will get back to you all on that. I'm not saying that she doesn't own a house in the hills. I'm just saying I don't know if that's possibly what's really true. We're investigating. I know she's investigating Krista Marie. I know I'm looking into it. I have a friend looking into it for me because he's much better at it than I am. But we're just curious. We don't know very much about her. And I would just think if she really needs to take care of her dad, like she says that she does because he has such bad memory loss, that she would want to be there with him a lot of the time, unless she does have somebody there helping him out. And then I can understand, like, staying some nights at your boyfriend's, but then having your boyfriend spend some nights over there so that he can get to know your dad and you can do what you need to do to help your dad. All of that great stuff. I don't know, just seems a little weird. I just needed to mention that though. But check her out. Her link will be down into the description. Check out Krista Marie. She is awesome. She always has a lot to say, and I always love what she has to say too. She's a no hold back kind of girl, and I love it because she speaks her mind, and that's the type of person I am. We get along great. So please go over there and press subscribe for her. She works her ass off, and I would really love to see her grow some more, especially in everything that she does. She works her butt off just as much as I do. Love you, girl.
And then let me ask you, before I just ask a few other, I do want to get into the fan questions, but what is your goal from having this conversation? Like, what are you looking for? What do you want people to hear, to walk away with? What's the takeaway here?
You could actually share love. If you have a best friend, you don't have to own it all. And I want people to be kind to Billie because I could see her pain and I could see her struggle. And we are not, like I keep saying, we're not here to bash her, to expose her. But because of how she is, we need to lay it out there to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't want people to keep on bashing her because I understand that she's already been going through a lot of struggle on her own as is. There's a lot of people hate her for no reason, and I can see that. There's also a lot of people don't like her because they don't like her personality. But she explained herself that she was going through a hard time. She has social anxiety, all of these things. So if you feel justifiable, you give her a break. If you feel like she should still, because everybody have issues, she should still be a decent person to people, then maybe she should take it in and learn how to be a better person to people. But we're not here to damage her or to do anything because I want her to continue with her life. I have a lot of respect for her maneuvering this whole situation all this time with Tom, and she had a good relationship with him, and that was loyal, that was good until things changes, and that is her own choice. And sometimes there are consequences, especially when she make accusation like that. For somebody else, it could have been easily a lawsuit. Even if they don't win, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Oh boy, this lawsuit word has been thrown around a little too much this episode from what I feel like. And yes, Billie is hurt. She's allowed to feel hurt. She was there through everything with Sandoval and stuck by his side. She encouraged people to, leave him alone, let him be. He made a mistake. And I know she knows she's not perfect. She is still growing. She is still learning about herself. She is still learning to understand her emotions. She just put out her pre-order for her book, and I cannot wait for that to come out. You can pre-order that now. I will link it down below, but it comes out in September, and I believe it's called Why Are We So Emotional, or something to do with emotions. And it's perfect because we all go through them, we all feel them, we all have these emotions, and the only way other people can understand your emotions or what you're feeling is by communicating. And when there's a lack of communication, or things are thought to be one way when they're another, or, misunderstandings happen, that's when confusion comes involved. But continuing to have a conversation and try to figure it out and work it out is always the best solution. And if that can't happen, then you go your separate ways and you wish each other the best and you move on in life. If you do this petty back and forth bullshit, trying to prove one is the villain and one is the victim, it's the worst thing possible. And I honestly dislike it. But there are so many people that's what they want to do. They want people to go after people, to go and harass them and to bother them. And I know he's sitting here saying, don't go do this, show her some love. I don't want people attacking her. I believe he does not want people to attack her, but he knows how social media is as well. So if he's saying she's making these heinous accusations against me, though she's saying Victoria said it, but we know she said it, that's also a very harsh accusation. And you know what, Billie? I can't wait to show your receipts, because at this point, we got one receipt, literally one receipt out of all of this that they were going to tell us. And we have a couple minutes left, so let's just see what they have to say for this last couple minutes.
So if this does continue, Kyle, is that where, if it does continue where there are allegations against you, like
I will immediately have my lawyer take care of that.
So this is pretty much you're giving just like a, this is my warning to anyone.
I didn't want to make it like a warning because I have no intention of suing her.
But you're saying if this slanderous accusation comes out of your mouth,
because I understand that there's black and white. Because I understand that there's black and white now. I have a very strong feeling that she learned her lesson and she won't do that again. She probably do it a lot to different people, but I have a very strong feeling that she will not try that again with other people, because that it's not okay. And like I said, I don't need her apology. I understand that it's coming out of love or being possessive or whatsoever reason. I don't need to know, but I feel bad for her, and I just want this to be gone. It's fine, and I want her to use her energy. Like I said, she was great on making the story colorful and throwing like bits and pieces, glitters, and make it fun. But don't do that on people's expense. This is real life.
Right. No, I mean, okay. And then
do it on her comedy show.
I mean, because this is a lot. And I feel like we went through a lot of different avenues here. I feel like I just got whiplash from this conversation. Wait, Victoria, I feel like you're typing something.
I'm saying I have to use the restroom.
She has to pee.
Oh. I was like, I see you looking down at the phone.
Literally.
She's trying to tell me I have to pee. Like, bull.
Wait, before you pee, Victoria, I want to say, because we're at an hour and a half, and I know you got to pee. And I was looking at the fan questions, and I'm like, no, we pretty much covered a lot of it. Is there, before you pee, I just want to ask, is there anything else you want to add to this conversation?
Just, we don't want it to end up this way at all. Just leave me alone. And Tom is kind of afraid of Billie, so he's been backing off for a while. Just if it weren't for that comment about Kyle, we probably would have forgiven her. But just stop putting me down, and you don't know me in my life. Just don't do that. It's not nice. Please leave me alone.
Okay, please leave me alone. All right. Well, those of you guys who are watching, we have over 3,500 in the room. We are at about an hour and 33 minutes. And as you can see from Victoria looking down at her phone, trying to secretly tell Kyle that she had to pee, she has to pee.
I'll be right back.
Victoria, I know you guys are busy. I just want to say thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you. And, again, I hope personally that there is a way to move forward in some capacity, whether it's being amicable, like however this works.
I always believe time can heal.
Okay. That's a good way to end it. That's a positive. Maybe this can be, because I don't think Billie is a bad person. I think that even Billie did her live earlier. And I think that Billie very eloquently said that she went through a dark time of struggle, and a lot of us do. And I think that we all have our own struggles. And Billie even explained how at moments while she was navigating those times that she might not have been the kindest to people. And she acknowledges that, which is half the battle. And I think that it's amazing that she acknowledged that. And I'm hoping that you guys can eventually have a conversation and this gets better. I hope that for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes. And Victoria, go pee.
Thank you.
Okay, good. I'm going to drop you guys down. Thank you guys. And
thank you so much.
Yes, sending you guys the love. And I am sure I will talk to you guys soon, because I'm sure Instagram, page 6, Twitter, X, whatever you call it.
He's saying bye.
I didn't know you were cutting it off. I didn't know you were cutting it off.
Bye, Victoria.
Bye.
Well, that's pretty much for the Up and Adam interview with Victoria and Kyle. I'm still very iffy about this whole allegation that they're saying that it was really Billie that said it, and Billie's still saying that Victoria was the one that said it. I would love to see those cameras, but the cameras don't exist. So at this point, it's literally a she said conversation. We don't know who said it. And then she's like, well, we caught her on the phone. Well, I don't believe Sandoval, and I don't know you, Victoria, from a hole in the wall. So I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. And Kyle, you should know of all people that once somebody's already had a conversation and they're like trying to make them bring it back up, there are ways that people can turn it around and make it seem like one person said it when really it was the other person that brought it up. And I kind of feel like Victoria would be the one who's concerned. She doesn't know you, just like she doesn't know Billie. She's coming into a relationship with Sandoval where he is completely fucked up. He's one of the most hated men in America for the things that he's done. And I would be insecure too if I dated somebody like him. So for her sake, I think she personally needs to maybe find somebody better. I know she's in love with him, or thinks she is. You've only been dating a couple months. Look at the red flags that are in front of you. Is it worth all of this? Maybe she likes all the attention. Maybe she likes all this drama. I have a feeling she does, considering she likes to throw out there that she dated Leonardo DiCaprio, and when you really look at it, it was like they went out a couple times. Woohoo! But that's really it for this. I think Adam had a wonderful ending to it. It is Pride Month, and I just want you to hear what he had to say about the last little bit before this ends.
All right, guys. So if you haven't already, definitely go ahead, smash that like button. I do want to encourage you guys to just remember, one, to be kind. You don't know what people are going to say. You know that there's always multiple sides to stories, and I think that it's important to hear all of them. I think that especially right now, remember, guys, it's Pride Month. We appreciate everybody. We want to celebrate everybody. We want to love everybody. And sometimes in moments where there are accusations hurled that can be defamatory or slanderous, of course, you want to defend them, especially if it has your name attached to it. So I do understand. I'm happy to have this conversation with Kyle and Victoria, and I thought it was a great conversation. Obviously, it's Friday night, so we spent an hour and 36 minutes on this, but sending you guys all the love. If you guys are going out this weekend, make sure you have a safe weekend. Again, exercise kindness. I love you guys. Make sure you get subscribed, and let social media go wild this weekend. See you guys next time. Bye.
I hope you all have a lovely day, but I want to know what you guys think so far after everything that we've seen here on my channel, after everything you've seen elsewhere. Where are you in this whole fight? What do you feel is going on? Do you feel that this is just some kind of a drama move that maybe Tom Sandoval thought up and kind of wanted? In a way, with all of this going on, it takes away from the important things that are happening. Let's see. Something About Her is doing freaking amazing. Ariana looked fucking hot as hell on Love Island, and those are all things that are being taken away from our girl who has killed it, been working her ass off, and been doing awesome. Check those out. But I will be back here with more, like promised. I've been working my ass off. I have so many things that I'm working on. So make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you've not yet done that, and make sure those notifications are on. All right, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Bye.
In the end, it's all the same. All you can do is play the game.